Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a relaxing, restful evening, because I'm not. But I promised you I would come on, and here I am. And we're going to talk a little bit. I got a new pot. I thought we would talk about that. I'm doing some Rancho Gordo beans, these Mayan red beans, and I've soaked them. Steve from Rancho Gordo doesn't always soak his beans, so you don't really have to, and we'll talk a little bit about all this. This is one of the our place pots. Oh, Tanya just had dinner. Hey, Hydran. So this I got off of the shopping place, but see, like, look, there's a little place here where there's a little pour spout. I can push this towards the pour spout and just strain the pasta out.
Oh.
Or I can, so that's one thing. There's also another little place you can pour it. It kind of gives you that. I think this fits on here.
It has little notchies on the back.
Okay, notchies. And it's a lot like the big pan equivalent that I got at Sam's Club and Costco. So, and by that I mean it's lightweight and it's ceramic. Hey, Kelly and Jackie and Jill and Tanya and Hydran and anybody else who's watching who's being a little shy. And so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just making up some beans. Oh, yay! JJ's here. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you. So I'm going to, this has some information and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more. But, these are oven safe, which also means this is not plastic.
And it looks like it would be super heavy. But it's not super heavy at all.
Which
it
is
looks
super
like it
helpful.
would be so heavy.
Right? And so, don't ever put any of your good pans in the dishwasher.
Please
if they're
don't.
all stainless steel, you kind of can. Don't put your good knives. I put a steak knife in there any day of the week because we don't really use those for anything much at all. But I did have someone staying here, and there were knives and a cast iron pot that was in there that got saved, so everything's fine. Yay, Jennifer's here too. Awesome. There's like a steam release indicator and all these different things, and we can also, it's saying you can, this way. This is how it's notching. Oh, it's notching it there. I don't know why you want it there. That's literally what's in the picture.
That's weird.
I say no.
Well, I guess if you were cooking pasta or something and you had the lid off.
JJ says we have 2 dishwashers, me and Dawn. I try to wash as little as possible because I'm not good at it. Cheryl's much better. Did you hear Luna going, meow, meow? She's giving me a little bit of a look. So I thought I soaked these beans, and it's interesting because some of them don't look soaked. There were some that floated up at the top, and I wonder if that will be them. But first things first, when you're making beans, this is the Spaghetti Monster strainer. It is kind of awesome with the eyes.
Faith got you that, didn't
Faith did get that to me. Oh, Veggie IB says, I love beans. What's not to love about beans, right? So first, let's get a few aromatics, and we'll talk as some of this is going on. But let me go ahead. This is supposed to be induction burner safe, and that it'll actually turn on. I'm going to put just a little splash of water because I'm going to saute. Really, that's probably a tablespoon. So I'm going to turn this on, menu. And then I have a video that's going to come out where I made these with that KitchenAid that I showed you yesterday. I'm just literally.
They're literally going everywhere.
Okay. So I usually just pop them on here, and then I just get out what I want. We don't want a lot. I probably want 1/4 to 1/2 cup because Cheryl, you may want more. You like that they're here. And so I like that I have the onions cut up for the month. or for a week, depending on who you are and how many onions you eat. So I'm just going to put that back in the freezer like that. And I'll break off another part to use. I have some red cabbage in here that I did the same way, which is awesome. I'll fit back in there.
You want me to move those onions around?
Now I got it. Oh yes, in the pan.
Should I use the...
Yeah, use the spoon. So also in any of these ceramic ones, you are not going to want to use any kind of metal utensils. And you may hear, I'm taking my sweatshirt off because I'm hot already. So sorry for any noise that's getting ready to happen. And it's true, I do have my shirt on from yesterday. So let me just fess up about that right now.
It's your jammies.
Kinda, yeah. Okay, and I also had some chopped up bell peppers from Trader Joe's, so I'm going to put a few of those in. Oh, and Hydron says that's what I do. Oop. That's what I do too. It's so easy with the Breville slice and dice. And it's also easy with the KitchenAid attachment that does the dicing too. That way you can just kind of get it all done. Yeah.
How come those onions are green?
This is onion, isn't it? This is cabbage.
I was going to say, it doesn't smell like onion.
I'm wrong.
We're going to have a little cabbage in our beans.
Where are the onions then? Oh, here are the onions.
Oh, there's the onions.
They big. They're in the same.
Got it.
Okay.
So we're going to have some cabbage.
We'll have cabbage in it. Or we can throw that out. Or, well, not throw it out. Let's just put it in a bowl. Hand me a little bowl. Is it fun when I mess up? Because I hope it's fun for somebody.
It's fun. Why are those onions green?
Yeah, I was kind of like, huh.
I didn't know if you put some scallions in there with it or...
I didn't remember them coming out weird, but I did all that before we went on our trip. So there's a lot of stuff frozen in there. I, Elizabeth, am cooking. I was looking at that too. But you know what? Now I have a little snackage of some cabbage that I probably will eat while we're on here. So let's get this started again.
I'm going to shut the freezer.
Well, actually, can you wait just 1 second?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start again. And I'm going to get about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of onions. That looks better. There is some green in here too, but not much. Not as much. Okay, here. You take charge of that. You may have to rearrange them a little bit.
Okay.
Right? Oh, you like the dressing? Oh, that's good. For lunch, Cheryl and I ate the potato soup again this morning. I was going to go live this morning and make oatmeal, but we slept in because we're trying to rest up, really. And I was really hangry. So I decided we should just eat. So I maybe we'll make oatmeal in the morning in the Instant Pot, or even better, maybe we'll make it in the slow cooker so I can wake up and eat something. But I used a cooked sweet potato.
It was pretty good.
And then for the new Potions and Powders book, or if you're in Kathy's Cooking Club, last class I made apple spice blend, pumpkin spice blend, and chai spice blend. So those are great oatmeal spices.
We had the chai spice blend with the sweet potato, and it was very tasty. And she added a little cinnamon, and we added a little bit of, was it maple syrup?
Yeah.
Maple syrup. It kind of tasted like sweet potato pie a little bit, with a chai spice sweet potato pie. It was actually very tasty, actually.
Yeah. I know I have garlic somewhere, so we're just going to use garlic powder because I don't know where it is. But if you know where yours is, about now is when you would put it in.
It's not in the drawer?
No, I have garlic powder.
Oh.
Usually I have it in a jar in the
Oh,
fridge.
yeah, yeah.
So I thought for a while ooh, here I see it now. Okay, we'll throw some of that in. I'll probably put about a teaspoon of this in. And I do this about when, some of you are going to be like, a teaspoon is nothing. Put in a tablespoon.
That's strong.
Well, we got a whole pound of beans we're cooking.
Woo.
Smells good. I just want to cook all this down. And I would cook this down a little bit more, and then we'll add some bell pepper. So this is what we're looking at right now. Okay, now let's get back to hello everyone. Lydia says, I've been cooking pinto beans for 3 hours and they're still hard. Did you soak them? And that's not uncommon. So there's some interesting things about these beans we'll find out. And we'll see if these beans cook while we're still on the live.
Pinto beans are always the ones that you have the most trouble with, aren't they?
No, not really. And this is why. This is the only reason why, is that I usually make refried beans with them. So I just cook the bejesus out of them. I'm not looking for the perfect firm bean. And because of that, like if I think they're old, I'll put them in the Instant Pot for an hour. I don't care, because I'm going to puree them.
Okay.
So chickpeas are a special kind of bean. I think sometimes cranberry beans, which look a lot like pintos, can be that too. Tanya, side eye. She's in pajamas, but different ones at least. Well, aren't we fancy? I didn't sleep in this shirt though. I just wore it last night for the live, and then I just put it was in with my sweatshirt.
What'd you wear for pajamas?
I've got my cat skull on that I've been wearing for pajamas.
Okay.
Ooh, Elizabeth just got out of a massage. Fancy, you guys are so fancy. We are making some red beans. And I'm going to do it on the stove top or this induction burner top, and we'll see. Yeah, it's real life exactly. Because just like what I was saying, I'm like, I'm not really with it. But I have all that cabbage. I did green cabbage and red cabbage, so that honestly I could do this and put it in scramble, or put it in a soup, or make it as a side dish. But instead of letting the cabbage rot while I was on vacation, I went ahead and just shredded it and put it in there. Hey, Mona.
Took her all of like 15 minutes to do all of that. The cabbage, the onions. Well, you did one other thing besides the cabbage and the onions. You did 2 kinds of cabbage.
Yeah, two kinds.
Two times.
Two
Two
kinds.
kinds.
Lady.
Two
Right?
kinds of cabbage.
And Tanya said I had a chocolate smoothie bowl with strawberries and homemade granola. I think you might be too fancy to be on my channel. No, I'm just kidding. I love Tanya. I'm glad that you're feeling up to all that.
Yeah. Sounds like you're
Really.
feeling a lot better.
She's not been, her whole family's been sick off and on. And hi, Vi. Tanya's stereotypical vegan with my smoothies for breakfast. Nothing wrong with that. Hi, Lisa. Oh, I guess it is good afternoon where you are. I feel like it's midnight where we are, but it's 6 o'clock. JJ loves pinto beans. Okay, let's talk about this. I need to be comfortable making beans from scratch. I'm a lazy canned bean girl. I started soaking beans last night when I realized I don't have any more canned beans. And actually, I just ordered 2 cases from Costco. So now I have some garbanzo beans and I
some
have
black beans.
beans, which are 2 great ones. I think it's always good to have canned beans on hand. I always try to pick them up when they're on sale. And I'm going to shake a little bit of red pepper. We're just kind of making pseudo basic beans, I say, because then I think I'm going to add a whole bunch of stuff to them. So maybe a half a cup of any kind of pepper. I like to have, we put that back in the freezer.
I'll put a rubber band on.
A lot of times I will use something different and just cut these up a little bit smaller. They're not too big this time, but if you use a good spatula, it just saves time, effort, and energy, which we don't always have unlimited amounts of. This is doing a good job, but let me show you what I often do. I think this one will do it. This one is a Dream Fam, and actually it has a little chop. It has more of a choppy edge on it. Let's see if it'll do it. Nope. It's not that, it's this edge. This is doing it better.
You need your flat one. Where's your flat one?
Oh yeah, is it over there? Oh yeah, this is the one I use the most for that. And then like if you bought some fajita vegetables, which I often do, you could also have just chopped them up in here. You do not want to do this with anything other than a wood utensil and a ceramic, because the whole thing is we want to keep this coating intact. Also, you want to never put oil on it, because that actually dulls the non-stick capabilities of it as well. But beans are great. Oh, Lydia soaked them overnight. Oh, I hate it when that happens. What I usually do, are you cooking them on the stove? Because then what I would do if they're not done by the time you want to go to bed is I would throw them in the slow cooker with extra water and let them cook some more. And I want to cook these down just a little bit more. I want them to, we're using them as aromatics, really just to flavor everything. And let me show you this. This is one thing I'm a little nervous about. So I soaked these beans last night. So it's one kind of bean. See, the pink ones are really big and some color came out. This is what they looked like before I soaked them. So I don't know if these guys just floated on top or what. So it's going to be interesting to see if these cook. It could be,
They're all out of the same thing.
Yeah. And they all got soaked exactly the same amount of time.
Interesting.
See, look, here's one red one that is bigger. So we'll see what happens. We might have to cook them a little longer. But this is one of my favorite cheater shortcuts. Oh, that's gonna, you won't eat that. That's like the little part that holds the seeds on the bell pepper. And we could do this in the Instant Pot or the slow cooker. You'd have to either cook the onions and garlic and everything or just use powders. Okay. Ooh! Tanya tried a green smoothie one morning. It filled you up. Yeah, green smoothies are awesome. They really, really are. Are these beans comparable to red beans in a bag from a store? Yes, and they're very much like what, if you go to a Hispanic market, you'll find small red beans, which I believe are also sometimes called Dominican red beans. So these aren't kidney beans. And you could make these, you really can make this with any bean. Kidney beans, pinto beans, anything that you want. This is just o beans. Now, if they overcook, I will puree them and make them into refried beans. Or if they don't and everything works out okay, I might do both. I might take some out and make refried beans and leave the rest. Okay, just sauteing them a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, hey, cool cat from Canada. Let's see what else. Obs is here. We miss you, Obs.
Hey, Obs.
And Tanya says, today I feel like a real human. I'm
That's
hoping
good.
tomorrow may be my day. Oh, awesome. Sherry made cranberry beans today for the first time, added half to an Instant Pot minestrone soup.
Nice.
So in the vein of using canned beans, you can cook you could cook without any of this, just in water, beans and water, nothing else. Cook a pot of beans, freeze it in like 1.5 cup servings. That's about 1 can. If you know you always use 2 cans, then you could do 3 cups. And then I do that sometimes, and then we just pop it in. I'll be like, oh, I got something. I can make a chili really quick, or I can, you know, if it's chickpeas, I can make a chickpea salad or something like that. Yeah, and you can make them in an Instant Pot. We used the Instant Pot yesterday, and then I was kind of like, I want to use my fancy new pan.
You have to try out the new pan.
The new pan.
It's a really nice pan. I was actually commenting on how nice it was when I was washing it up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've seen some of these pans, and they can be quite expensive. So again, on that shopping app that I'm still not sure I want to share with everyone because I'm not sure it'll be easy for you. I have some friends who are just like, what? Why do I have to do this? So, but I got it less than half price.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm trying some of the new things.
And I'm on my dining.
Hydron, we did not get the brush yet for the Beast containers. But one thing I would say with the Beast containers blades like this, one thing that, because stuff gets stuck up around in here, so you need a good brush. Also, I put soapy water and let it sit for a little while, and I would do that at least once a week if you're using it a lot, once a month if you're not using it so much.
Yeah.
But Hydron, Cheryl's in charge of getting that. Ooh, Tanya's making, and Tanya, am I saying your name right, or is it a different way? Tanya is what I think it is, but give me phonetics if not. Oh, that's awesome. Claudia's actually cooking the Mayan red beans and Dominica Rojo in the Instant Pot right now. I needed 2 pounds, and I didn't have enough for either 2 pounds. Yep. And both of them are really good replacements. They're both really good for red beans and rice, the New Orleans dish. And like for kidney beans are often used. But in the slow cooker, they want you to boil the kidney beans for 10 minutes before you cook them in the slow cooker. You don't have to with these smaller red beans, which is why I like using them. I got that pepper mix at Trader Joe's. It's just always there. Awesome. Ooh, you're making a soup with chickpeas, and
Lovely.
Lydia's cooking them on the stove. Yeah, Tanya says I only use wood and silicone utensils now. That's the best way to go. Hobbs is like, this is for real, not out of a can. There's no shame with using a can of beans. In fact, for this thing that we're going to be on, that Chef AJ's doing next year, I made 4 recipes with beans out of a can because it's perfectly fine.
Sometimes that's all you got time for is to go and get out a can of beans and pop them open and do your thing.
Thank you so much, Tanya. That means a lot. She says she loves watching our videos. She may not comment a lot, but love watching you guys, and we love having you here, and it's so nice to finally see you say hello.
Hey.
Obs, you are welcome. Come on over. That sounds great. These are Rancho Gordo beans. These are Mayan red beans, but you know what? They could be the Dominican red beans you got at the Hispanic market, super cheap. They could be pinto beans. They can be whatever you want. So, oh, hi, Joe. And I am glad that you're hanging out with us. Right? The new pan is very nice, Obs. And fun pots and pans do make cooking more fun. Ooh, with your Harry Potter Quidditch pot and my Ron Weasley wand spatula. Oh, I need a picture of that. Okay, typically TS, and let me come back to this. All right, so I've got a bunch of stuff I know I'm going to put in here. I know I'm going to do a little Mexican, so I'm going to put probably, I'm just going to put some small amounts in here. I'm going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander.
Wow, that just instantly changed the smells.
Yeah. I'm going to put, because I'm kind of making
smells like
the broth.
chili now.
Yeah, the cumin makes it smell like chili. I'm going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of regular paprika, and I think I have a whole half teaspoon of smoked paprika.
It's like the Rancho Gordo show today.
It is a little bit. And then I'm going to put in, so in a minute we're going to be able to talk freely anyhow. So let's get that in there. I want to toast up that cumin and coriander because the heat will activate it. That's why a lot of things get sauteed, but doesn't that already smell really interesting?
Yeah.
Okay.
It smells so much more interesting to me
off.
than just the peppers and onions.
Yeah. We're not going to put that right now. We're going to put just a dash of cinnamon in here. Like really a dash. You can see it there. And that's all Cheryl can smell right now, so she thinks it all tastes like that.
I'm very sensitive to the cinnamon.
And what else am I going to put in here before we go? Mushroom powder. This is going to give it kind of a beefier, like a beefy broth flavor, so I'm going to put about a tablespoon.
Let's wipe that up.
And I just make this, so I take dried mushroom stems. When I go to the Asian market, they're quite large, the stems, and I just dehydrate them, and when I have enough, I blend them into a powder. And I think I want a little more coriander, and we're going to still change some of this. So let me write down what I've done so far, because you guys are going to ask me. So now I've done a half a teaspoon coriander. I'm going to do a half teaspoon cumin because I'm going to add another. I don't want any more cinnamon, so I'm going to call it a pinch of cinnamon. We did 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, half a teaspoon paprika, a tablespoon of mushroom powder.
Do you want me to put the lids on these?
Sure. So I'm smelling to see if the balance smells good to me. I still may, even if the balance is perfect right now, I still may add some more later. Do you want to smell it now? Smell how it's different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of melds into one another.
It smells less like chili now.
Yeah, it's just more of a generic bean. So we're also going to take these beans that I soaked overnight and I just drained and rinsed.
They smell more mellow now.
I think I rinsed them. We'll find out tonight. Just going to mix these around.
They're pretty beans.
They are. They just should all be one color. That is my only concern. You could also throw in a bay leaf, even with some of the stuff that we have now.
What would that do?
Give it a different flavor a little bit.
Wouldn't you use that more for Italian stuff?
No, it's also used a lot in Slavic food. It's used in all different kinds of foods. But like, here, I'll bring a bay leaf and let you smell it with it. Smell it together.
Oh, interesting.
So those of you who may be new or don't watch me all the time, I always, if I'm like, cumin and bay leaf, the spices I have with this, it would work. So we'll just throw one in. It's also helpful for digestion of beans. So each country or region has an herb that they use to make beans more digestible. So if you find that you get a lot of gas, epazote is used in Mexico. Bay leaves is used kind of in Slavic countries, in Europe. The kombu is used in Japan. So there's a lot of different ways. Okay. And I'm going to put some water in. We're going to get this starting up to a boil. Then I will answer some more of your questions. I did a bay leaf, 1 pound beans. So I'm going to just kind of cover these up a little bit. I don't have to measure the water because I can cook some off or add some more. It's not like it's going in the Instant Pot. Now, I shouldn't need much more than that.
Just kind of barely cover them.
Yeah, because they've been soaked. If they weren't soaked, we would need more water for sure, because this already has taken on some water.
Right.
Okay, we're going to bring them to a boil, possibly. There we go. And then we'll pull it to a simmer and cover them. And then we'll see how long it takes to cook them. It'll be a great mystery to all of us.
Such a nice pan.
You like the pan better
I do.
than
I like the
anything
color
else?
combo of it. The color combo's cool. Kind of that kind of like smoky gray with the lighter gray.
Yeah.
Like it's very nice.
It
It's
is.
made well too, like the way the handles are and stuff.
It's a
There's
little
nothing to-
larger than I usually, I thought this would be good for class.
But these aren't like screwed on. You know how some pans you get and they have the screwed
Oh,
on
it's-
handles that always come loose and stuff? These are like molded in.
And
They're
this
not-
is as, well, nope, this isn't. This does come off, but it's metal. So sometimes these little knobs are plastic, and so this one can go in the oven with this. So you can make a casserole or a lasagna. Just be careful when you're cutting it through, use a plastic utensil, okay?
I would think this would be too deep to make a lasagna, but boy, that would be one stack of a lasagna, wouldn't
Well, you
it?
don't have to fill it all the way up. You still, like if we took it on vacation, we could just do up to here
Yeah,
and cover it, and then we wouldn't have to use foil.
true.
Okay, here we go. Back to your questions. And I'm sorry, this should be moved. You shouldn't be having to see all the cameras and stuff, but no one said I was perfect. I certainly don't say
It's
I'm
a
perfect.
jammy day.
Usually I move the camera a little. I do.
You got your water? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my water. So TS was saying, are the Rancho Gordo beans fresher? Typically they are. Let's see. I soaked split peas and it did not cook well. So usually split peas, red lentils, any split bean or dal, except in some Indian recipes, you don't soak them. You can soak them for a little while, but even for Indian recipes, a lot of times you're soaking them for 10 minutes. And some of those split dals, like chana dal and urad dal, are often used in place of nuts, which is kind of awesome too. So, and when you say they didn't cook well, do you mean they got mushy quicker than you expected them to? So tell me more about that. Ooh, Joe is saying, here, let me move this up where you can see it better. Checking the open air markets for these Dominican beans. Thought for a second they were Ayacote beans. I don't know how to really say that. I'm sure I'm butchering it. Anyhow, those are really big, beautiful beans. And in the Great Vegan Bean Book, I have a few recipes with them. They get very big, almost like the large lima beans, only they have a little bit tougher or more toothsome skin. Tough, not in a bad way, but just they seem meatier. So they're really good in soups.
I love the big
Yeah.
lima beans.
Yeah. I'm saying, Tanya, right? Excellent. And Hydron says, for the blade part of the beast, I use the brush from the Revel food processor. Yes. I noticed something had gotten kind of stuck. I use the brush from the OXO usually. And I think it might have been for there's one I have that has this extra little fold out. Tanya, am I saying your name wrong? Is that Tanya?
Tanya.
It's Tanya. We've never talked in person, but we message all the time. Tanya. Is that correct? Oh, good. You should feel good about eating your canned beans because you're eating delicious, good for you food.
Exactly.
The end. It's okay in whichever form you choose to do, dry or not. I kind of have a hoard of Rancho Gordo beans, and I'm going to be trying to go through some of them because we need to eat more beans. So here we are making some beans because today we had oatmeal with sweet potato, Then we had leftover potato soup, and when I cut up lettuce for the salad and grated a carrot, I made another, I cut up an extra head and did some extra carrot in like a little sealable container in the fridge. So all we had to do, also I put the soup in soup mugs with lids so we could throw them in the microwave, and that way when we needed to eat it wouldn't be that big a deal.
And so we just popped it out. It was ready in minutes.
And Jackie says right now my favorite bean is Mayakoba, and I love Mayakoba beans. They are so soft and creamy, and they make some of the best refried beans. And I have a recipe on plant-based-instantpot.com where I do refried beans a little differently. There's no cumin in there. There's lots of Mexican oregano and things like that. So I find it really refreshing. It's kind of a nice lighter bean. And Penny says, I've been in the Rancho Gordo Bean Club for 2 quarters, so I've got to make some. I've been in it for years. So some beans I may be soaking forever. Black-eyed peas. Oh, good. Yeah, I sent out in the newsletter, too, just now, the black-eyed pea recipe. I'll send it out some more, but we want to have a great 2025, so we want to eat our black-eyed peas for luck.
Yep.
And we want to eat our collard greens or kale or spinach or whatever green for money. So we can pay our bills, and we can, well, not that kind of money, so that we can take our friends out to dinner, or we can buy something nice and have our friends over to dinner so that we can pay our bills and feel comfortable.
Still want to make it rain a little bit.
Well, I feel like with the cruise extravaganzas, we're doing a lot of cruising, let's just say. So to kind of get ready for the new channel and all of that too. So Cheryl did post a little short from our trip, from the trip before the cruise. Hopefully later tonight there'll be at least one short from the cruise. I think I didn't post mine up because it has to be at least 15 seconds, and I used a template that's 14 seconds, so I can't add on to that. It's not boiling yet, but see, smell. It doesn't smell exactly like Mexican beans.
No, it doesn't.
These could be used in a lot of different things, and I'll let you guys see above. It's just kind of not quite boiling yet.
It's funny how it looks like there's oil in there, but you haven't put any oil in there at all.
No.
It's just from the spices and stuff.
It's just the coloring is from the spices. Yeah, it's not like a chili oil or something like that. Speaking of that, from this angle, I see some stuff over here. Get in there. Get in there. All right. And back to the questions. Okay. Oh, and Mona says my black-eyed peas will be canned for the first time for the first of the year. It's really the only time I have them with my collards. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with getting canned beans. If you have issues that, or you have something else that's just not, that's why you can't have canned beans, I support you in that. But don't let people shame you about food.
Exactly.
Eat healthy food. If you want to put in some butternut squash and you buy some from the freezer that's already been cut up, more power to you. You're eating beans, collards, and a vegetable. So this isn't about trying to make things perfect. Though I do experiment, and sometimes, you know, we know I have from everything from how to make 15-minute red beans and rice from a can of Pintos to how to make your own tempeh over a week, right? So there's all the different things, but there's nothing wrong with buying your own tempeh. But during the pandemic, it was really nice to learn how to make it, right? And over the pandemic, it was hard to get soy milk, so I started making soy milk, and now
that's all we do.
It's awesome. I've been making some almond milk too. Oh, Cool Cat made lupini and pinto beans puttanesca with eggplant. Oh, that sounds delicious.
That does sound good.
Oh, yum. Oh, you missed what herbs help with digestion. Bay leaf, episode, kombu, different seaweeds. If you have trouble digesting beans, sometimes for some people, like when you first started eating more, it's because you didn't have a lot of fiber in your diet. like 20 years ago. And so if you're just adding fiber to your diet, it's hard. So soaking them, rinsing them, there are some proteins that can come off, and that's helpful. This is starting to go a little bit more. So I'm going to put my little lid on here, and we're going to turn them down. And I've not used this before.
Yeah, timer about to go off.
Yeah, I don't know why that, I don't want a timer. Oh. I don't want a timer, but it's doing it anyhow. I just want this to go down to about 4.5, I think. 4. Yeah, I think that'll be good. 3.5. And is that 57 minutes?
C7. Yeah, it must be. Yeah, because if otherwise it would be ticking down.
Let's check them in about... I'm going really the wrong way, but that's okay. We'll check them in 15 minutes. So that way...
Okay.
I've never used the timer on this, so let's see. Let's see what happens. So I'll just move this up just a little bit for right now. All right, so where am I? The digestion. Yeah, look in the Hispanic section, the Mayacoba beans, and they're so cheap from the Hispanic market. So you also, I'm trying to think. So on Amazon, a lot of these beans are really expensive. So Indian food and Hispanic foods can be a little more expensive. If you don't have a Hispanic market, or if you have Instacart, look up Mayacoba, because like there is. Food Lion here often has a full set of Hispanic goods. So that's, you might have another store like that too. I have, Joe, and I grew some episode not so long ago that I'm probably, and I'm not going to try the corn truffles because I'm going to butcher it. But yes, I have had those in tacos, and they were delicious. So that's like when you get the corn and you get this weird stuff that grows on them, and they look like bad corn mushrooms, zombie corn.
I remember you got those one time, and then as much as I love corn, I was just like running away from those.
Yeah, you were terrified, but you ate some of it in a taco when we were in Mexico.
Yeah.
So once it was cooked, this is an Our Place, right? Yeah, an Our Place pan. So it's different from... over here.
Our
Is it on the top? This is kind of the knockoff of it. This one, or there's another one. So this is a little more metal. It still has, this is a great one. It has a big steamer that goes in here. These are usually available at Costco or Sam's Club for like 30 or 40 bucks.
Usually they're somewhere between $29.99 and $39.99.
And these are great. I got one from each because I got one. Some of my older pans would not work on the induction burner, and that's what I use when I teach classes. All right. Butter beans. Cheryl loves her.
I do love some butter beans.
Thanks, Claudette. I really appreciate that. Tia says no to the split peas. After soaking for 1 hour, as the recipe said, then Instapot called for 45 minutes of cooking. Split peas, green split peas?
Wow.
Or something else.
Those must have been really old.
Because that shouldn't be 45 minutes. So I'm curious what recipe you're doing. If you want to email me at kathyhester@gmail.com, email me that recipe with what happened, and I'll see if I can troubleshoot. But yeah, Tanya. That sounds funny. It's not that it's your name. It sounds like a Southern person mispronouncing Tanya. Tanya. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Joe says if Cheryl loves big lima beans, she loves broad beans. As habas. I don't know that we've had broad. when you're saying that, I'm thinking of like the really broad kind of green beans that you eat the outside hull. Or are these a different bean? I'll write it down and check it out too.
I really have never met a bean that I didn't like. I cannot think of any bean that I do not like. Even as a kid, like, there were so many things I wouldn't eat, but I would eat just about any bean anybody put in front of me, which was weird because I even ate the beans that everybody else hated.
Yeah, Lydia's saying, Kathy, is there a possibility my beans were never softened? There is always that possibility, but I wouldn't give up so easy. Do you have a slow cooker, or do you have an Instant Pot with the slow cooker setting, which normally I do not recommend for beans? But in your case, I would put them in the slow cooker, let them cook overnight, see if anything's happened, and then I know of a guy who bought lentils and he cooked them for 3 days and they never softened. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry. Oh, great. Tanya says, I like this type of video because I want to learn how to make beans from scratch. I make chickpeas in my Instant Pot, but they were overcooked. So I made chickpea salad, yeah. So here's the thing, we talked about this last night. There is a learning curve with cooking beans in your Instant Pot. I don't put my beans in the Instant Pot and go, yeah, I'm savvy. These are gonna be perfect. I'm always like, what's my backup plan?
Right, because I mean, if you guys remember for years and years and years, I mean, Kathy's always said, beans are the variable. Whenever you're cooking something in the Instant Pot or the slow cooker or anything, beans are always the variable.
It's very true, and it's just out of our control and we can't know. So in the instance of also when you're first using your Instant Pot, you may cook them too much. So I don't know if you guys know, but I wrote a little pamphlet for Rancho Gordo about cooking beans in your Instant Pot. And one of my first things I said is, a lot of you won't like what I'm about to say, but beans are the variable. If you're really worried about getting your beans just perfectly right, like canned beans, again, like last night, I would cook them a certain point, open them, and actually, Lydia, after you've done this 4 times, you would be like, I'm going to cook them. I'd be like, I'll put them on for an hour and see what happens. And Tanya says I eat a lot of fiber, but I think I'm a little more sensitive to beans, maybe. Well, and it varies. Like, there's certain restaurants we eat at that we sing the songs of the bean people afterwards. Yeah. And then we'll go someplace else and have beans and we're fine.
Yeah.
So which makes me wonder, how much is it they cooked it with something, they cooked it down, or maybe the beans weren't cooked quite enough, because that will give you real stomach upset.
So on the bean package, do they give you like a goodbye date or anything, like when it was packaged or anything? I mean, it doesn't...
Well, it says best by 7/2026. I mean, it's not that beans are only good for like 6 months and then they're old.
Well, I know, but I mean, like if you were in the grocery store, I don't think those beans give you a best by date. Like if you get just the pack of beans.
No. They don't. And so you just kind of plan on cooking the crap out of them. I haven't cooked beans on the stovetop in a few years. It's been years. So I have no idea if these are going to be done by the time we're done.
I was shocked when she said she wanted to make beans on the stove.
I was like, I'll show off my new pots. It'll be very exciting. Yeah, and I mean, beans are really good for you. Mm-hmm. Most people do beans really well. Chef AJ's allergic to beans, right? So, let's see. Yeah, Jackie, that's not bad either. Yeah, if you have a real bean issue, you can get digestive enzymes from a health food store or something. I think Beano is one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is true, too. And they're also called canary beans. Mm-hmm. Fun fact. Oh, Cool Cat has the smaller Our Place pan. I was looking at that one, the little one with the handle. So we'll see. Oh, and Tanya's saying the canned ones don't bother her at all, and there are some brands of canned ones that have bothered us. Mm-hmm. Okay, soaking will make a big difference. So there's all these theories and facts, and there's, just like with the kidney bean protein, supposedly there's some undigestible proteins in beans, and when we soak them and rinse them really well, it rinses them off, and that makes it easier to digest. Jackie says the canned beans make me more musical than cooking them from scratch. And says, oh, CJ, thank you. Broad beans are the same as fava beans. Yes.
Yes, I do love a fava bean.
Yeah, we do love. I love, is it foo? The dip that's made with fava beans? Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, and Tanya says the opposite for me. Yeah, try soaking them. So my first Instant Pot book, I was like, don't soak your beans, because everyone's like, I don't want to soak my beans. I was like, okay. Then everybody's like, I always soak my beans. So the second one, I not only did recipes for soaked beans, I tell you how to quick soak your beans. So Tanya, if you wake up and you're like, I want to make beans, I didn't soak them, you can put them in the Instant Pot for 10 minutes, let them sit for a little while, strain them, rinse them, and put them back in. It cuts down the cooking time. It's not a one-to-one for soaking overnight, but it's pretty close. Ooh, DK Guy loves Rancho Gordo beans too. Mm-hmm. Steve is got it going on.
Yep.
Oh, good. Joe says the fava beans with a cooked prickly pear. Yum. That sounds delicious. Mm-hmm. Lydia says, I'm changing my plans for supper. That has happened to me so many times, I cannot even begin to tell you. And that's another good reason for having canned beans in the pantry. So if you're trying to cook some beans, now you can just go grab a can of beans, rinse them, and put them in whatever you're going to make. You can also go ahead and make like a chickpea salad, or toss some chickpeas with some pasta and some marinara sauce. Like a lot of what I call cheater meals. Like when I was doing the interview for Chef AJ, I use the word cheater meals a lot, and she feels, and it's true, in the language of the people, cheater meals means I ate coconut oil or vegan cheese or whatever it is I'm saying I'm not going to eat. But by cheater, it feels like I didn't even cook. It feels like I cheated to get
Beyond
dinner on the
brats
table.
or something.
Yeah, but like what I sometimes do is like make those red beans and rice. So I put rice in the rice cooker, take 2 cans of dark red kidney beans, smush them up. Sometimes I saute them with fresh vegetables. Sometimes I just put garlic powder, onion powder, and Cajun seasoning in there. It's cheaper and quicker than even ordering out, right? It's good to see you, Vi. Okay, you don't have a slow cooker. Do you have an Instant Pot though, or do you not? The other thing you could do if you have them on a Dutch oven, you could add extra water, put them in your oven in a covered Dutch oven, which would look similar to this, and let it cook on a low heat for all night. That's another thing you can do. That's the way you slow cook in the Breville. Ooh, Tanya grew up on fava beans. Oh, your mom's from Portugal. Yum.
Tanya.
Did I not say it?
I keep trying to make
Okay.
sure I'm saying it right, Tanya.
And Bridget says, I soak my beans for 24 hours, cook them in the Instant Pot, and then ferment them for 4 to 5 days in brine. No gut issues.
Interesting.
Tell me more about fermenting these, Bridget. I'm curious. I haven't done that before. Okay. All right, so I think I've gotten down to the questions. It's about time. The timer's about to go off. So let's check these 20-minute beans. And I'm not checking them because I think they're done. I'm checking them to get a good idea of maybe what they do. Oh, that's awesome. Tanya says I Facebook messaged you guys with a video with my name.
Thank you.
As we need it. Okay, well, one thing that looks good is I'm not seeing any beans that look small anymore. They all look about the same size. Now, I can tell these aren't done just by looking at them. So
How?
so they're wrinkled,
Okay.
but they're not soft. That's not a soft. So like these beans, that one looks like it could be softer. But so this would be one I would want to check a little bit more. But I think those with the wrinkly ones are the ones that didn't really soak up water.
Okay. But they're soaking it now because they're getting wrinkly.
Yeah, and so we'll put this back on.
How hot does that thing stay? Pretty hot.
Oh, it's hot. You can't do that.
Okay.
And neither should all of you.
They had said that this was hot, but it doesn't seem like it's
Well,
that
that's going
hot.
to be hot if you put it in the oven.
Ah. Okay.
All right, let me get 2 spoons that are the same, and I'll show you, because last night I was kind of saying this is how I check beans. And so I take this one little bean, do this. So I take these 2 little spoons. You can use,
Oop.
dang it. Well, I can still do it because we're not going to eat it anyhow.
Nobody's eating that bean.
No one saw where that went. No, I'm not going to eat it. But so you can take this and you can kind of turn it. See, this one isn't even splitting because it's still hard. So if I take it,
Oh, it's kind of crunchy.
yeah, it's got crunchy bits in it. So I will also put these spoons away so I don't. But I could tell that they weren't anyhow because those others were not ready. So I think we have at least another 20. And we did 15 minutes. We'll do another 15 minutes. And we'll just kind of answer questions and hang out and see what's going on. Trying to think, I was going to say if you want to make some rice, but I don't know that we'll eat rice tonight. We'll probably eat, if these cook all the way and everything, we have some almond flour tortillas, so maybe I'll make a little bit of refried beans from these and just make like some tostadas.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, because we've got lettuce. That'll be another way to get some more salad.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You got salsa?
So we'll see if these cook in time. I'll show you how to do that. Alrighty. And Lydia said she has an Instant Pot and a Dutch oven. You could try it on the Instant Pot on the slow cooker setting all night. The reason I usually say don't cook dried beans in the Instant Pot on the slow cooker setting is because people have had it take days or 2 days or 24 hours when it shouldn't have taken that long.
Yeah.
But since you're just kind of trying to continue the cooking process without letting them cool off all the way, having to cook, because like you could recook them tomorrow, but why not just keep them going? And I would also say if they overcook, then you're just going to make refried beans out of them, and that'll be delicious, and you can put them away. Oh, it's good to see you, Claudia. Have a great night.
See you later.
It
is Friday night. Like all these people
it
probably
is Friday
got
night. Yeah,
all
you're
these
doing
people got
something
big
fun.
plans. They probably going out having a good time. We're all here like, can we go to bed yet?
I know. It's been...
I've actually reset my clock, I think, though, with all the traveling and stuff. I haven't been staying up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I've actually been going to bed before 11 almost every night, except for last night. I think I was up a little later last night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I went to sleep till midnight, but we were also letting ourselves sleep in a little bit. I woke up around 9.
Did you? I don't know what time I woke up. I had a cat launching off of me is what woke me up.
She is hilarious. And Fergus and him, they're all like, whoa.
They get on my bladder, and then they want to jump around on my bladder in the morning, and I'm like,
So Lydia wants to know, she said, so I've been tasting the beans. Is it dangerous if they're not soft? If you eat a lot of uncooked or undercooked beans, you're going to have gastric distress, and not just the musical kind. It's going to make your tummy really hurt. So the whole thing about the kidney beans and boil them because of the protein that's in them, special than any other beans, Comes from a family in Great Britain who ate undercooked kidney beans. So no one knows if it was because it was slow cooked or undercooked. And so they went to the hospital because they had really serious problems. If you're eating a couple of beans here or there, it's not going to hurt you. You know, I mean, unless you have a very sensitive stomach or a condition, but it's not going to poison you. It's just going to make your stomach rumble a little bit. And I'm thinking you probably are eating one bean at a time since they're not cooked anyhow. So tell me if I'm wrong. Tanya says it's 5 p.m. where I am in Nebraska.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's 7 here.
You're in the Midwest.
Is it cold?
I bet it's
snowy?
Cold. I bet it's cold there.
Diane is here. Late as usual, watched yesterday in the middle of your show. Hello to you.
Hello.
We're just
cooking some beans.
Watching beans cook, hanging out, living that kind of life. Living that big life.
Yeah.
New pan.
It's a beautiful pan. I love the color combination of this pan. I really do. No, these are like my colors, y'all. I love like this.
Here, you're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, I can't even see because it's got my glasses fogged up.
Yourself.
But look at the pretty like two-tone. Like these are my colors, like khaki and black.
Now the one thing, so this is...
That's the strainer. That's the pour.
Okay, so you could just pour broth or something. I don't know. It looks like it would strain it out too.
No, because there's no little strainer holes on that side.
Yeah, but a piece of pasta isn't going to go through that.
Oh, it could if it was like spaghetti.
I guess so. It is a nice pan, and I like the other one. So then I was like, they can be kind of expensive in caraway pans. That other one looks like it's a copycat caraway pan, and who knows if I can get a good deal on flip, maybe I'll go ahead and try it.
Oh, these get really hot.
Yeah, they're metal.
Well, I'm just like checking it all out.
Alrighty.
Trying to learn the lay of the land with the pot because I'll probably use it for making pasta.
Ooh, I thought you're only microwaving pasta now.
Well, there are occasions when I like to do it the old-fashioned way.
In the winter, it's nice to cook on the stove and things. And I'll try and do some beans this week. We'll see. I'm not sure what we're going to do going live tomorrow. What are you looking for?
Where's all that water coming from?
Every time we lift open the lid and all that stuff.
Okay.
I keep trying to explain that steam is what reduces everything because the water goes out.
Let me get a little napkin for that one.
It's not snowy, but it's cold. I bet it's cold. Lydia says, I tasted a few. I'm going to stop now. You're gonna be fine.
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be fine. They're not going to kill you.
It's not like you had a whole pan of them.
Right. If you ate a whole bowl, that's a different story. And Joe says, good to hear beans don't give you gas. So many people worry about that, right? Well, I think we start worrying about it when we're kids and when that's a real embarrassing situation. And Joe, since you are Mexican, Steve from Rancho Gordo says that most Mexicans do not soak their beans before cooking. I've heard from some other people who are Mexican that they do. What do you do? I would love to know that. Bridget, going back to her fermented beans, rinse cooked beans, put in a mason jar, put a weight on them, fill the jar until covered with 5% brine, cover with a cloth, leave on the counter. Interesting.
Clean food living.
Interesting. Okay, microwaving pasta. You need a really deep bowl. You don't have to have these bowls that I'm going to show you, but I am in love with them. So I got a set of these any day dishes.
These things are like magic.
They really are, and they have lids that can go in the microwave as well that can be vented.
I got rid of all my Pampered Chef microwave cooking things that were making her crazy.
Full of plastics scraping off, and I really, really, really didn't love that. So see how tall they are? And it's also not bad that they're smaller in the bottom and bigger at the top. So if you have a Pyrex, a really big Pyrex, because when you're boiling pasta, it has the chance to boil over. This is the extra large one. I got that separate, so we can make pasta for 4 people in here. We can make pasta for 2 people in here. You put pasta in water and go to anyday.com, because what they're going to do is you pick the wattage of your microwave, how much pasta you want to cook. They tell you which of their dishes to use, but you can even get measurements and if you have dishes like them. And then you put it in for like what? It depends. We're using gluten-free pasta.
It's like 11 minutes?
Yeah, 11 to 12 minutes. It may be less depending on the size of the pasta.
That's with the Banza. That's the Banza chickpea pasta.
So these guys I love. They're made of glass. And then I'll show you a lid too. And I keep trying to be an affiliate with them, and they keep rejecting me.
We also make grits.
Yeah.
We also make.
And there's a little thing here. You pull, and then then it vents.
Yeah.
And then this way it doesn't. So it's pretty
And we got
awesome.
some for my mom for Christmas, and she loves them.
I ordered them, and I was expecting to send them back because I'm not a microwave fan, but like. I love putting my grits in there for like just a few minutes and then it's done. I haven't figured out the perfect way to do oats in there yet, but I'm working on it.
You could do rice in a pinch in there.
We've done rice in it, yeah. And it's good then to have something like that if you're traveling and staying in hotel rooms. Yeah. That can be really nice. I'm just going to
give them a check. I'm going to stand back because it makes me crazy when my glasses fog up.
They're still not ready. But I'm just going to give a stir. They definitely are going to, I'm going to give it 20 more. Okay. But I was checking to make sure the water level was still okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you microwave pasta. And Joe says what gave me gas was the pulled pork before I went vegan. And we mentioned this yesterday, but we went to a restaurant in Disney and they did jackfruit in their beans. And so whatever traditional recipe, Joe, like I have on Plant-Based Instant Pot, I have like, what do I call it? Orange lime chili jackfruit. And if you make it in the Instant Pot and then spread it and put it in the oven, it gets really chewy. That would be great in beans.
Yeah.
No white Christmas. Definitely not a white Christmas for us. It hasn't snowed since like 2018.
Yeah.
Used to snow every year.
At least not anything significant. Like we have had flurries that, come down and as soon as they hit the ground they melt kind of thing. It's just the pretty to look at stuff, but we haven't had any significant amount of snow that's actually stuck since 2018.
Yeah. So I kind of wish it would snow, and I was thinking we might travel somewhere where it was going to snow. But right now it seems like we're traveling to warmer destinations.
Yes, we are into the warmer destinations.
Like Florida, and then
we went to Key West, and we went to Nassau. In March we're going to Jamaica, and...
And Joe says they soak their beans the night before. Maybe it's the people who have Instant Pots or Ola Expresses who don't soak their beans. I think with Steve talks to a lot of Mexican farmers who grows the heirloom beans that he sells. So I don't know if it could be a regional thing for all I know.
Could be.
But he is pretty much pro not soaking your beans. He thinks it takes away a lot of the flavors. And obviously he doesn't have that digestive issue. So part of me wonders if a little bit of it could be just upping your fiber tolerance. Because if we're eating a standard American diet especially, there's almost no fiber. All the fiber's removed. So a lot of people switching over to vegan or whole food plant-based definitely have to kind of...
Well, it was a big change for me. Like I went through several times of discomfort just making the switch.
Eating salad. You're eating salad much better too.
Yeah, I am eating salad much better now. Like I went through a period where I could not eat salad at all. Like it would give me so much stomach upset.
I was kind of wondering if she had IBS, honestly.
But now it seems that, like, the more I eat it, the better I am at eating it, I guess. I don't have as many issues.
Jamaica, Cheryl's on it. Right, we're going on the Holistic Health Cruise in March, and that's when we'll get to go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So it's
and we're going to Cozumel on that trip, too. To Cozumel, Mexico.
It'll be cool. I'm very excited. We also got the spa pass for the week, and they have a snow room and a salt room and like different kinds of showery things. So I figure even if we don't like, I've heard negative things about MSC. I've also heard negative things about older celebrity ships, but we loved that ship. It was our first one, and it was stunning.
Perfect. It was perfect. I mean, they had given it a little bit of a facelift when they came over from Europe. That was what they were doing on the way over, was kind of giving it a facelift, but they couldn't have given it that much of a facelift. I mean, I think they just did some painting and maybe replaced some carpet, but it was gorgeous.
Beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Oh, Elizabeth says, this salad dressing you made last night is money. I think I'll be putting it on everything, even like a bowl with brown rice and kale and chickpeas and sweet potatoes. Absolutely. Yes. Sauces and salad dressings, especially when we're doing whole food, plant-based, no oil, are so malleable that you could do it either way. And like making a bowl is so great to have like whatever grains, maybe millet, quinoa, rice, or a mix, some beans, and we will save out some of these to do bowls, some vegetables, and then have like a sauce. Like we made that maple mustard sauce. This was a Caesar or garlicky salt. Elizabeth, were you able to use some of the kala namak on it? Because that gave it a real eggy taste, which is really interesting. Have a good night and have fun wherever you are. Oh, Gina loves celebrity cruises. You're going to have to tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us all the secrets. Like, we just lucked up on this.
The silhouette was amazing.
Super cheap deal. And we got Aqua Class for the price we thought we'd pay for an inside cabin. So we had a balcony, and we got to go to where they have these tiled heated loungers.
This is very nice.
So I got a couple of massages because my back was bothering me, and then I get my massage. Before my massage, I'd lay on there to kind of soften my muscles, and then after to kind of set it in.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great question, Cool Cat. I'm hoping by February.
When I get my crap together.
I have also been training Cheryl on doing some stuff, so hopefully
I haven't been doing a very good job.
You've been, well, we've been working on what that needs to be. I don't want to say you've been doing a great job. You've been, in some things you're doing a great job, and I appreciate that.
It's new. It's all new for me. I mean, you would think living with her and for the past 15 years of her doing this stuff that I would have had some kind of clue of what to do for myself, but it's different. It's different mentality than like working for somebody else for a tech company. It's totally different. It's
right. So
I have to tap into my creative side, which I haven't done in a very, very long time.
It's not only that. You're fine with the creative side. It's actually about working without being motivated. And so the thing is if you're going to work for yourself, you have to be self-motivated. That's why sometimes I don't take days off, right? Because I know I need to get things done. So
and it's not that I'm not motivated. It's that I don't know sometimes like how to plan my time out, because I am like so ADHD that it makes it really difficult. Like when I was doing tech stuff, it worked out perfectly for me because about the time that I was getting yanked to another fire, my brain was going, la, 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 let's go over here. So,
well, and part of it, so like you have to figure out your own working style, and this goes for all of us. So for me, it took a long time for me to realize I have to wake up in the morning and go, brain, are you wanting to create recipes? Are you wanting to shoot photos? Are you wanting to do, send things to the account? What is the thing you want to do most? And I can get that out of the way, because when I do what my brain wants to do, it takes less than half the time. If I have to have something by a deadline, it's not a writing day, it could take me 7 hours to write that.
Yeah, for me, the thing is, it's like I waste a bunch of time trying to figure out what my priority should be, instead of just starting something and doing something.
Or instead of asking me.
Right.
And the thing is if you said to me, hey, I'm not sure what I should start with this morning, I could either say, well, you said you were going to start with newsletters, so maybe let's do that. Or I really need help with whatever thing that I'm doing right now. Because I have to move things around a lot. You can't really do classes and books and lives and without having it. So that's why you're not expected to do all those.
What I need is a calendar. I need somebody to create.
Make a calendar.
I need somebody to create a physical calendar that works like almost like Jenga, that I can slide things around.
There's an AI thing that you can use.
Yeah,
I'll find.
I don't always do well with the digital calendars.
Well, but you may just have to get AI assist, and we'll work with that.
Yeah.
Tanya says, I've never had millet as is. I bought some to use for Chef AJ's dessert recipes and grind it into flour. What's cooked millet like? Cooked millet, it's really close to couscous to me. It's got a little more heft, but it's kind of like couscous. Oh, and Elizabeth, this is why I was laughing. She says, I'm talking about the maple mustard sauce. The other one was too advanced for my cooking skills.
It was not.
You just put yogurt, some spices, obviously vegan yogurt, and some non-dairy milk, blend it up together.
I'm with you on the maple sauce, the maple mustard sauce.
Elizabeth, if we end up at your house, I can show you how to do some of these things. Gina says that we know more than her about celebrity. It's been a while, but I like them more than most others.
Yeah.
And, Tanya says, my mom used to make millet for breakfast for me and my sister when we were little with nutmeg. I started eating millet because when I became vegetarian back in the dark ages of 1983, I got this book that was vegan for one. I think I checked out of the library, and one of the things was rosemary millet. And so I made that, and I felt very, very accomplished. I didn't know how to make anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little nutty. Cooked millet is a little nutty. And so when I make my dosa uttapam batter, which is like South Indian pancakes or crepes, I use quinoa, millet, and brown rice and urad dal. And so I always have some millet. Elizabeth says, sounds good. You're going to be fine. Okay, let's see how we're doing, and then we'll decide. Do you guys have just some questions? Or do you want to talk a little more about any trips or maybe the MSC that we're going on for the Holistic Health Cruise? Sorry, the fan is blowing it right at you. I'm going to just check these.
Well, I haven't done a lot of research on that Holistic Health Cruise ship itself. However, they did have to recently change. We were supposed to go to Ochos Rios, Jamaica, and now we have to go to Falmouth.
I don't know how to say it.
I'm not sure how to say it, but it's on the same island. And the reason is because another cruise ship actually took out
the port
where the boats come in, or the ships come in. So Gina's saying, what is MSC? It's a cruise line.
Here, I'll put you back here.
They've been around for a while. They're a European cruise line. I think that they are mostly out of Italy, I believe. Kind of an Italian, Italian-based cruise line. Apparently, one of their things that they're famous for is their pizza on their cruises because of the Italian connection. They make really, really super thin, like the kind of pizza like that people get, like at those places where the wood fire
pizzas.
Yeah, the little really thin ones. I guess they're really famous for those on that cruise. And they will make a vegan one.
So their vegan one they're going to make without cheese, which is actually more perfect for us than making it with vegan cheese.
Yeah,
so
they'll make it more like that pizza that we had that time with Hydron.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great pizza.
It was like literally so full of chopped vegetables.
You couldn't even, you didn't even miss cheese or anything because there was no place for it on there. It was just stacked so full with vegetables. It was actually the first pizza that I'd ever had without cheese of any kind, and I actually really, really loved it.
It was quite delicious. Elizabeth says, do we like to snorkel? We did an awesome snorkeling excursion in Cozumel. I have never snorkeled or done anything like that. I know that's different than scuba diving. Scuba diving, I think, would scare me to death because I'm a little claustrophobic and I don't like not having access to all the air all the time.
I mean,
I wonder if I'll be scared snorkeling, but I should have access to all the air. Right?
I mean, if you're just on if you stay on the top of the water.
Well, you can't go underneath because then you'll drown because all the stuff would go in your pipe.
I've never truly snorkeled. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, right? I grew up on the Great Lakes, so when you put a snorkel on in flippers in the Midwest and went across the top of the water, basically I just saw dark water. So.
Yeah, but I mean...
Unless a bass came up in my face.
But like, because it has the little breathy pipe...
Yeah.
You can't go under. It's not like you cap it off and go under, right?
It's true.
Right? No, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I've never done it, so maybe there's like some special way that you do it. Oh, look, hydrant is the best. The Mediterranean Shipping Company have been around over 50 years. Oh, she applied for a job with them in their head office in Geneva, Switzerland in 1978. Wow. Of course you did. You're such a smarty. Oh, you're so welcome. It's still cooking and it may not be done before. I think we've got at least 30 more minutes of these beans being done.
The funny thing about us going to all these like tropical locations is the fact that neither one of us are big like tropical people.
I have to tell you, I've been looking at things that are more like Iceland and Norway and Amsterdam and the UK.
See, you can go down and come up and then blow the water out.
Really?
But I would forget to blow the water out.
So Elizabeth, okay, no, Jill says you can go down and come up and blow the water out. I would freak out. It'll be really interesting. I should try it.
Yeah.
I'm scared of all kinds of things, y'all, but I go ahead and try it, and then I'm either like, yeah, never again, or, okay, that wasn't so bad. Elizabeth says the fish are insane in Cozumel. The colors of the fish and the quality of the fish are just mind-blowing. She's going to give us some info on the third-party company. Ask for Marcos. You've got the hookup.
And Elizabeth, do they teach you how to do it? Like, so for somebody who's like a complete newbie, would we feel comfortable doing that? I guess is my question. And
Tia says some snorkel pipes have a little ball that you can have block the pipe and go under a bit. Okay. See, I'm not kidding when I say I've not done any of this. I've never even put flippers on my feet either. And Jennifer was asking, have I chosen upcoming classes? No, because I have to teach one tomorrow. Jennifer, remind me what your suggestion is here, and chances are very good because I'm going to be doing that probably Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around in there. Lydia says I'd probably drown. That's what I worry about a little bit. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to be, oh, this is cool, and I'm going to go, oh, I need to go up and get some air, and then I'm going to go up and go and suck all the water in is what I'm going to do because I won't be thinking right. No. Elizabeth says it's super easy. So maybe you should find a way to be sick that week so you can come on the holistic health cruise with us and show us how to snorkel. And Penny says, yes, snorkeling can be done under the water for a short time, and then you blow out when you get the snorkel above the water. I wasn't fast enough. It's fun that you can stay on top of the water. Chances are good, at least for the first. I might try to go down. Yeah, and Tanya says she's never put flippers on or worn a wetsuit.
I have done both those things. I have done both those things for no good reason. I actually have a wetsuit downstairs still.
Oh, the Mexican flatbread topped with a salad. Did you send me a picture and everything about that? Let me go see what I can find out.
Sounds
I think
lovely.
you did. If I remember correctly, it's been a little while since I've been in there looking, because I've been doing dry mix classes like we're going to do tomorrow. And Gina says she's excited about the dry mix class. I love it too. I've used that, and please forgive me, Joe, right? It's Joe who's from Mexico.
Joe, yeah.
Okay, Joe, forgive me, but I have made a dry mole mix. It's not for everyone. It's not free. It is not.
It's
It
not
is
for
not
everyone.
traditional. It has very little to do with Mexico, except that as a whole food plant-based person, I can mix one up really good to put on my bowl. So please don't be offended. Lisa says it's easier just staying along the surface. I could be on that team.
Yeah.
I'll have to see about that. I'll see if I can find out about the salad. I think you sent me a picture when you talked about that. I just don't know if we're going to make bread soon. But let me think. Let me think about it. And
These beans are making me want some bread.
yeah, someone else was saying, I think it was Mona said, I see all these Instagram people with like crusty bread.
I had the best bread on the celebrity
good.
cruise. Their bread was amazing. It was a baguette.
Yeah.
It was amazing. They cut it, in the little slicey things. Oh, I had way too much bread on that trip, but I just fresh, baked, vegan bread. I mean,
It was really,
lovely.
really a treat. Yeah, mole inspired. Exactly. Exactly. Penny snorkeled in Florida. It was great. And it's corn based, Jennifer says, the salad.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like street corn. Rick Bayless does Mexican inspired. I wonder if it's like a street corn kind of salad on a pizza or something.
that sounds, oh my God,
that
so
would be
good.
Tanya made a sourdough with some oil-free Satan deli slices. Had a nice sandwich.
Oh,
Awesome.
I love a good sandwich.
And Gina says the water's so clear you can see tons from the surface too. And Penny was saying go to a Y or indoor pool and try it before you go on the cruise.
Do that.
I would procrastinate that a lot. Because then you're getting in the pool and it's all chlorine-y, and then it's winter, so my hands are already.
I think in the shed we actually have like snorkel and fins that I
How
got.
did you buy them?
We got them in the bin store. I don't know how good they are. They're probably not very good.
Well, that could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, yay. Hey, Raw Chef Yen. You've been coming in a lot. I wake up in the morning, I see that you had gone live in like 5:30. So I always miss you, but welcome. I hope you're doing well. I saw you're going to be taking another vacation to Singapore. Did I see that right?
That sounds like a lovely trip.
Yes. I've heard Singapore is awesome. Okay, I'm going to take another look at the beans.
Woo!
I've got them turned up because I'm like, they're never going to hurry.
You could feel the heat come off of those things.
Come in a little closer.
But they smell really, really good.
They're getting close, and I'll show you. What I am talking about here is that some of these are going to be softer. Remember, some of them soaked well and some of them didn't. We've got to wait for the ones that didn't. So we will use the ones that are cooked early to create kind of a creamy sauce like we do for red beans by mashing the beans. These might cook down a little bit because I love that creamy, saucy kind of bean. And Gina says snorkeling is not a big deal. Scuba's another story. Not gonna be scubaing anytime soon. Elizabeth says she's excited to attend my very first Kathy's Cooking Club. Yay! We're gonna make some more dry mixes. I'm excited. We'll probably do a couple of spice blends again too. But don't forget, all of you guys that are in Kathy's Cooking Club, that you have access to all the cooking classes that have come before, like 150. So Cheryl's been sending them out once a week.
I was during the holiday, during Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I need to send some more out
Yeah,
this week.
go ahead and schedule them for each week. So that way,
Okay.
the weeks we don't have class, or like sometimes because of travel, we might do 2 in the top of the month and then none till the end of the next month. And that way you still get to come in and learn what you want to learn. Yeah, did anybody else who's here join at all? And Penny said, the thing I did not like was going on a glass bottom boat in Florida. I was seasick. I didn't lose my cookies, just I went on one of those when I was a kid and I was fine.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot too, and this goes for Elizabeth, when I was trying to remember if I get seasick. So you know, like those little boats you just go across? I was in one of those in Oregon, and the water was rough, and it was,
Yeah.
and I was fine. So I didn't even think about, I was just kind of like, I really don't want to get wet. It's cold.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I've been in
Everyone
huge-
tells me I'm going to get seasick.
I've been in huge swells in a 28-foot boat on Lake Erie that, like, you would think it was the middle of the ocean, just going.
I haven't done that.
And I never got sick on those.
I don't know. I'm sure I have a breaking point. And Gina says I've gone so far down the Korean drama hole that now I want to go to Korea. Is Kitty Mommy still here?
Like, we did that.
No, but Kitty Mommy goes to Korea a lot. And,
Actually, Kitty
and
Mommy might be in Korea right now.
she was on earlier.
Oh, was she?
Or at least she popped in and said hi. But she's the reason we've had Korean-inspired classes
Yes.
again. Because once you veganize them and whole food, plant-based, no oilize them,
Yeah.
there's big differences.
Yeah.
So, Tia said, do you soak with the beans with any salt, then rinse it off before cooking? I do not typically. I've heard of people brining the beans and then doing it, but I just haven't. This is how I've always done it. Doesn't mean I won't try. And Mona says, ooh, yes, creamy, saucy beans. Yeah, you're in the South. And that's how we like them. And Jill is always like, oh, I don't want mushy beans. She likes her beans perfect. And Penny says, it sounds like you'll be great. I like to see the land, even though I love the water.
Yeah, my little Pisces side came out pretty big when we opened up the balcony door, and I could just stand there and just smell the water. And
Well, the night that you went out with Jeremy and Elizabeth, and I stayed, because I was like, ooh, alone time. I just sat on the deck. I had the balcony open even while I was doing things, and I just really enjoyed it, because I was kind of like, how does this feel? Am I okay with this? I was looking around at the water. At this point, we weren't seeing anything, and I was like, some people say that scares them, and that didn't bother me.
you can hear the slosh and smell I guess living at the beach for so long, like, I only lived like a block off the ocean for years and years, and so I would leave the windows open and I would hear the waves. And so I think when I hear the waves on the ship, it reminds me of that. Like, it makes me want to sleep really good.
Well, and you know, when we went on that vacation a bazillion years ago to Hilton Head, the weird vacation, the best part
That was the weirdest vacation.
I got it on Travel Zoo, so it was like this nice kind of fancy hotel at Hilton Head for not a whole week. We stayed like maybe 4 days or something. We brought our
we went there, and then we went to Savannah after that, right?
We were gone a week.
We did take our bicycles.
But it was oceanfront, so I opened the door and we slept like that. It's for a long time, so we could hear the ocean.
Yeah.
It was chilly, but it was
So when she was
delightful.
out on that balcony and everything was all serene and everything, and she's just out there enjoying herself, and then I come back in the room and I'm like chatty about everything we did, and then I like go out on the balcony and all you see coming in the distance is like one of those carnival ships.
Party shit with
You
like
see
lights
laser lights
flashing.
going everywhere, and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. It was funny. I was like, glad we're not on that boat.
That's too loud a boat for me. So we're gonna see. There's another cruise we're thinking about going on that might be too loud for me, but we shall see. And Gina says, "Oh my God, we have to talk K-dramas." And I haven't been watching them in a while, but I watched them last year a lot. Maybe that would be good.
Maybe we need some K-drama.
Yeah, Kitty Mommy, you got to talk to her. And Tanya says, "I've heard of soaking or cooking beans with baking soda or baking powder? Baking soda as of baking powder. Can't remember which one. Yeah. And Nancy's here. Yay!
Hey, neighbor.
How are you doing? We miss you
Yes,
very much.
definitely.
We have to do breakfast or something really soon.
Yeah.
And see
We'd
how
love to
things-
spend some time with you guys.
Yes, very much so, and hear how your holidays were. Or are, because we still got
We're
a whole
still in
New
the-
Year's thing.
We're still in the holiday season.
the in between.
Yeah,
in
it's that
between.
weird limbo time.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's check them.
Can you see a little bit? See how some of them are cracking just a little bit?
Yeah.
See, like that's soft enough. You can also just push them with, if you're, on the back. Let's find one that I think is not done. And let's
They
see.
smell pretty good.
Okay. This is the one I think may not be as done. Yeah. So let me see if I can.
It still looks hard, yeah.
Well, this is when they still need to, it's cooking, but see how that splits off and it almost looks like a peanut? That means it needs more time. That's why I said these may not. And so some of these are softening, like, let's see. Some of these are cracking a little bit. So those are going to get even softer by the time the ones that weren't pink. That's what we're cooking now, the red ones. And so that's okay. I think they probably have 15, 20 minutes more. Let me time them again. And then, oh, here, do you want to do comments for a minute? Why?
Gina says, you guys have me wanting to go on a cruise again. Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed
Holistic
it.
holiday.
Holistic holidays
Come hang
coming
out
up.
with us. I'm gonna put on
March, they still got some cabins.
They do.
Call them up. Maybe they'll give you a deal.
Oh, that's awesome. Jill says she's celebrating 1 year of Kathy's Cooking Club. Looking forward to class. And Elizabeth says, so excited to be part of the cool club. It's the kind club. But it's awesome. Lydia loves the week between Christmas and New Year's. And it is kind of like this special time where time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
COVID was kind of like that, only it went on way too long.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nancy's never been on a cruise. Interesting. You guys have done so much. I would have thought you had.
Yeah, I would have thought you guys were
We would
seasoned
love
cruisers.
to go to Alaska too.
Alaska
That
is-
is also.
It's definitely on the bucket list.
I was looking at that for possible summertime travel, although that's when it's the most expensive. And I'm still trying to get used to this whole pricing thing. Like if you go last minute, it's cheaper. And if you try to schedule for 2026,
it's
supposed
cheaper. It's weird.
And that I have trouble kind of, Oh, you're so funny. And Tanya says they really take long in a normal pot. I'm
Yeah.
appreciating having Instant Pot. And
Yeah.
it's true. But when you're saying something cooks for 10 or 15 minutes, it can take a long time to come up to pressure like it did last night. And you have to let it come down for pressure. But usually I figured we'd just have time to talk. And there you go. Tanya's never been on a cruise either. This was our very, very, very first one. You guys are hilarious.
Gina says if we go to Alaska, she'll totally go with us.
Ooh.
That
Maybe
would be
we
fun.
should see if we could get a trip
Yeah.
and other people could go. Because, it was pretty easy to eat on Celebrity. At least eating plant-based on Celebrity was quite easy.
Yeah.
Eating with no oil would be significantly harder.
Yeah.
But But it was very easy to do a potato and vegetables and salad. They had balsamic vinegar out, so you could do balsamic vinegar on your salad. Lots of fruit. Maybe Elizabeth, so someone had said, Tanya said I could watch paint dry. And then Elizabeth said that would be hilarious to watch them watching paint dry. So be careful what you ask for.
There are some things that need painted around here, and the peanut gallery watching the paint dry could be quite hilarious.
Look at this idea for upcoming video. Okay. Now don't be mad tomorrow if that's what you're watching for an hour. But I guess we have to comment on it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's dry yet? I think we need to wait a minute more.
Do you want me to touch it? Should I touch it? I don't think it's dry yet.
You guys are hilarious.
We'll paint all over us.
We've been watching all the cruise videos. Alicia!
Hey!
Yay! You want to go to Alaska? Okay. Then you're coming with us.
Yep.
What do you think? Because that'd be awesome.
She's going to be like, you people too crazy for me.
No, she'll hang out with me. She's probably, because I'm going to be like, I'm going to bed early. You want to come sit on the balcony with me, Ma, and watch the boats go by, because that's the way it's going to be. I like relaxing vacations. Tanya said I just spit my water out. But yeah, no, that could be really fun.
Huh?
Maybe. Oh, thank you. Rasha Fien says she likes my purple hair. I use Overtone, which is vegan all the time. It's just the conditioner. But there's this like extra dark one. So I was like, we're going on vacation, like a real vacation. So I had the hairdresser do it.
She did a good job.
Yeah, Cheryl usually.
So Gina was saying some people don't like cruises because they don't like being stuck on the boat or feel claustrophobic. And I had a huge fear of that. That was my biggest fear, was I was going to feel like I was trapped or very claustrophobic, but I did not at all. I felt like I didn't even like my mind. Once I got in there and started moving around, it was like I'm not even on a boat. I just felt like I was in a resort somewhere that I could easily just walk to wherever I wanted to go eat or do whatever. So
I'm so sorry. Elizabeth said, I'm going to try to smuggle that maple mustard dressing on our next cruise. No, we'll figure it out. We can make it from the stuff. I know, she goes, if we get caught, we're all in trouble. Key lime pie scandal. So I'll let you tell the story, but in Key West, we found a vegan-friendly restaurant called The Cafe. The Inn. The Cafe. And they had vegan key lime cheesecake. Mm-hmm. And so we and Jeremy and Helene took one to go.
Maybe we should not use parties' names and protect the innocent.
I just fessed up to it, so I think everything's fine. So we ended up coming back, and so they were walking fast ahead of us. That's what happens when you don't walk with your party.
But then we would have all gotten in trouble.
We would have all gotten in trouble. But so, and at some point, so it's big, like there's an entrance this way, and then they moved us this way, and it's kind of like going through airport security, only like mini.
Yeah.
Like you put your stuff in there, and then you go to the end, and you've already shown your hey, I belong on the ship pass. And then, because as we came back, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if we can bring, I knew we couldn't bring fruit, but I didn't know about this. And so I was saying, well, okay.
And it turns out that's a Florida rule, not a boat rule.
Well, no, it's a boat rule because we're coming from Florida into the boat.
Yeah, but
the other way around is a Florida rule. Like, I can't bring my coffee out of there into Florida is the Florida rule. And so we were all confused anyhow. So I'm like, they had sped up, and so they were way ahead of us. So even before we got there, I was like, well, we'll see if they're out to the side eating theirs. I'm always with plan B.
She does have always
worst case
plan
scenario.
B.
I always have worst case scenario, which sounds really negative, but worst case scenario, we'll wait a few minutes, eat some of our pie. If it's good, we'll eat it all. If it's not good, we'll just throw it away. Mm-hmm. Right? And we'll see if they've done it yet. So we get in, and they weren't that much further ahead of us. And so all I know is I put my stuff on.
They were in the line over there, and we were in the line over here.
We
couldn't see each other because there was a wall between us.
So I put my stuff through, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. So I'm just being my best middle-aged lady, behaved, smiley vacation person. How's your day been? And I go and I start slowly picking up my things as my cake, and then I hear the guy say to the woman, she's got cake. But they didn't look at me and they didn't acknowledge me. Anyway. I'm just like this way, and they're over there, like,
nobody stopped us.
And
nobody said, hey,
bag,
you gotta put the cake back. They just said, she's got cake, and nobody stopped us.
Okay, so I'm just going, and then we get into the hall later down the ship.
And here comes Helene booking it with her bag of cake. And we're like, and she's like, I just left. They wanted me to give up the cake. And we were like, what? And she's like, did you have to get rid of your cake? And we were like, no, we didn't have to get rid of our cake. And
she also said she was looking for me because if I was there, she thought they would let her keep the cake, which is probably true.
It's probably true.
Because I would be like, the first thing I would say is, oh, I didn't know. I can go back out and just take a couple of bites. Because that's what I literally would say, because that's good enough. We just wanted to, there's not often you can try vegan key lime something.
Right.
It wasn't even that amazing. It wasn't amazing enough to go down for and like fight for.
And then Jeremy comes around the corner and he's like, put the cake in the bag. Put the cake in my bag. He's like trying to hide it, like putting it in his bag.
And
so
I'm just
nobody,
like, I probably need to get out of here. I probably need to get out of here. And she's like, why don't they let you keep your cake? I'm like, I don't know. He knew I had cake.
He said she has cake.
But not to me. So I don't think I was supposed to hear that, but I have really good hearing. And then she's like, well, I don't care. He can come find me and take my cake or something. I don't know. I may be exaggerating on that, but it was like Jeremy was terrified.
It was just
like he came and found me and got me and told me to get the cake.
Yeah. but Jeremy's like me. He's like a rule follower. So like, you know, if somebody tells us we can't do something, then we're both like, okay.
So it was very interesting. So yeah, key lime pie scandal. So now you're all in on it.
Yeah. It was harmless.
But but you were real paranoid too, so we did have a bite of that.
And
she's like, where do I hide it? Can I put it in the trash can? Is the steward gonna turn us in? Like
so I'm like trying to put a bunch of stuff in the bag with the container from the cake, trying to make it look like it wasn't a cake container, and then I took it into the hallway and was looking around to see if I could find like just a trash can in the hallway somewhere that I could put it in, and then I just brought it back in the room and put it in the trash can. But I was like thinking I needed to like get that stuff far away from us so we didn't get in trouble.
I would have just fessed up. Nancy says I can't wait to travel with y'all. Don't be doing things like that, getting us in trouble, Nancy. Miss Nancy, I know you can.
But I mean, it was innocent on all parts. Our really person didn't stop us. Their person tried to stop them. I mean, it.
Well, and it was just very. Gina says those experiences are what make a vacation. Yeah, stories for later, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just really interesting, like. All the things, so many things went well, but I think the face, I wish someone took a picture of me when we were talking to the maitre d' who was explaining, you know, how the bread's made fresh every day and blah, 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 but only the French bread is vegan. And then Jeremy's like, well, if they make it every day, can they just make, like, can we request specific breads? And I was like,
that was a great idea, actually, I thought.
No, the person cooking for 4,000 people can't make a special bread when they're making a special appetizers, salads, soups, dinners, and desserts.
I thought it made sense to me at the time, too. So I was like, yeah, if they're making it.
I have worked with chefs in banquet environments, and you're lucky that you just come out with all your limbs. That's the way.
We had the greatest sommelier.
Sommelier? A wine guy.
The wine guy.
We had a great wine guy.
The wine guy was fun, even though that we only had one drink the whole entire time. And that was just because we kind of felt bad that he kept coming around and we needed to get something. So.
No, I was like, when we first went on, I was still recovering from like a cold I had.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sick, but I knew I was going to be around a bunch more people. I didn't want to do anything to compromise my immune system. So I felt good enough that day. I was like, I can have a glass of wine. Look at me go.
But he was fun. His name was Dino. If you're on Celebrity Silhouette and you get to go to Blue, ask for Dino to come talk to you because he's hilarious.
They will all talk to you, and they're all hilarious and wonderful and super helpful. But yeah, and I think we told our weird Nassau story, and we're
I don't think we did tell the weird Nassau story, did we?
I thought we did. Did we, you guys? Like, it just wasn't a pleasant, here, move.
So there were at least five cruise ships in port at Nassau at one time. And I think everybody probably got there within an hour of each other, and everybody was leaving within an hour of each other. So you can imagine. And then several of the ships that were there were some of those really big ones. And, well, they looked really big to me. And
all of them were big. Ours was big to me, and Elizabeth's like, that's not a big ship. That's a tiny ship.
So when we got off, we went and had some, we weren't sure we wanted to get off at all at Nassau. And then we went and had some spa time and then decided, yeah, let's go. And so Jeremy, thank goodness, Jeremy wanted to go for a walk too, and he went with us because I don't know that I would have felt very comfortable with it being so crowded without him. Well,
also, here's the thing. We don't know the area. We don't know the culture. So, like, right now, because we didn't, like, there's all kinds of cool, what do they call it? They're not expeditions. What are excursions that we could have paid a lot of money, as much money as we paid to be on the cruise, in fact, to go see some cool things. Aw, Tanya, it was nice seeing you today.
Yes.
And thank you so much for chatting with us. We really appreciate it. And
absolutely.
Just the very best night at work.
Yep.
She's a CNA for a nursing home. So thank you for taking such good care of everybody, and take care of yourself and have a good nap.
Yep.
But I think it's just being in a different place.
Yeah.
And also then it's really touristy right here, and it's kind of touristy here, which means that everybody's kind of coming out to deal with the dumb tourists, really.
Do you want to braid that hair?
What?
You want to braid that hair?
Oh, that's right.
She got the shortest hair, and this woman's like, I only need 10 minutes. I can braid that.
Well, she can.
I know she
could. She was an African. Well, she was a Bahamian. Woman.
Yeah.
She could have done it and done it really nice.
But it was a little overwhelming because it was so busy.
Well, and everybody's trying to sell and get people in to do things, so it was just like walking through like a row of sales.
You go through this like area that is the port, I guess.
It's the port. And
the Jamaican Port Authority, kind of.
Bahamian.
I'm sorry, Bahamian.
Or Nassau.
The Nassau Port Authority kind of thing. And they have these little colorful little houses set up, and they have like an open air market.
And they're all kind of gift stores.
And just, but it was very, very crowded with all the people from these other ships there. And then we went out of there and walked across the street so I could get a rash guard at the pirate bar.
It was all about the pirate bar.
It was all about getting to the pirate bar and getting a shirt.
That's all it meant.
And then I asked the lady, because we would have liked to put our feet into the water.
I would have liked to seen the beach, and we are going to be going back.
Yeah.
So this isn't.
Yeah, it's not.
So I didn't feel like we had to do everything, though I feel like we did nothing.
Yeah.
We literally didn't. Like, for a half an hour, we walked around, we looked at some gift shops, and then we came back. And except for the time we were trying to go towards where she said the beach was just a 15-minute walk. Mm-hmm. But there was kind of a crazy or ill man who was really big and kind of scary.
I think he might have had too much to drink or
It's
smoke or something.
hard to know what was going on, but whatever it was, it was not a safe experience. Like, he didn't hurt anyone, but I wasn't going to keep going over there.
Yeah, and between that and not really knowing where we were going, we decided
not knowing the area at all, and not having anyone with us who had gone there. Like, Helene had gone there before, so
Yeah.
I would have felt more comfortable. Or, Elizabeth, we should have commandeered you. So next time we're all in Nassau, I'm commandeering you just to put my feet in the water. Or we'll see if we, like some people were saying, oh no, I think it was you that told me, yeah, Gina was saying you've got to be careful in Nassau. And,
yeah, so I think
it felt like we were maybe in, because also, I mean, I lived in New Orleans, so I would tell tourists, don't go here. Because, like, also in New Orleans, you've got a mansion, and then one street over, you can't go there. And especially if you look like a tourist. And I looked all like a tourist.
Yeah.
She looked all like a tourist.
with my camera hanging
We
out.
weren't going to, like, blend
Yes.
in, right? And so some of that's an us problem, too.
But I mean, and then it was also all the overindulging tourists. You know, they were being like spring breakers, let's just put it that way, but they were grown-ass
There was
adults.
some lady vomiting in the trash can, and I can't even be around anyone vomiting, so I can never be a nurse because it makes me get sick. So I'm just like backing up from the lady from the trash can thinking she'll be done in a couple of minutes.
And Jeremy was so sweet. He was like trying to block it.
He's like, don't
He was
let
trying
me.
to block it with his body for her. And then she was like, I can't go past there. And he was like, come on, we just walk like this. We'll just walk like this.
And they're like, just walk past her. I'm like, she could turn around and throw up on me. I'm not walking past the lady. So phobias are phobias, and they're real.
But, you know, and
the last thing my germophobic being on a boat person needs is someone to throw up on me that's not even on our boat.
and then the other thing was we really didn't have a lot of time, and so there would have been the not knowing where we were going.
Well, the
was
boat
probably not the best idea.
What's the word for it when you disembark? No, I don't know. Whenever you could go and
Disembark.
go to Nassau, I want to say deplane, but it's not deplaning.
We got to get all these terms right.
But we had a last minute massage at like 10:45, and it started at 11. So we just kind of wandered out around 2:30, just to kind of like, let's see what we can see. Lydia, I'm with you. And so like with Cheryl, I'm like, can I throw you a cold rag or something?
Yeah.
Oh, Gina says you can always tell Americans in Europe because they wear tennis shoes everywhere. I had my Birkenstocks on.
Yeah, she had her little like sundress on, like
You
had your bathing suit.
But my bathing suit is like it's not even like a mini skirt. It's long. It's a longer one, and I had a wrap, so it looked like I was wearing a sundress and some sandals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to tell anybody that. You can read the comments when they come back up if you're watching the replay. There's more throwing up talk happening. You guys can tell your stories. I'm just not going to read them. But yeah, I get really, really weird about that.
So, but I mean, we had kind of half already had decided to just stay on the ship that day, but then
Jeremy really wanted to go.
Yeah, and then after we had our stuff and Jeremy was like ready to go, and we felt more comfortable going with him. So
these are
safety in numbers kind of thing. And then and I'm sure everybody was fine and everything, but it's just one of those things where there's so many people and you're getting smushed against each other, and there's no room to walk on the sidewalk because people are coming in every direction, and you're kind of having to step off into the road, and there's people on mopeds going by, and I don't know, it seemed a little too chaotic for me at that moment in time. And so I think next time we'll just go off a little earlier so we have more time and we can just, and hopefully there won't be 5 boats in port at the time that we go either, because there was a lot. It was a lot.
Let me come over here. I'm going to make a little refried.
But
actually, why don't we switch places? You go over there.
and see, and Elizabeth says we could take a cab.
Click on it,
Sorry.
please.
Oh. Elizabeth says we could take a cab to Atlantis. Lots of people do that, and that was one of the excursions was to Atlantis.
But it was like $250
Yeah,
a
it was
person.
really
I'm
expensive,
like,
and I
that's
was
how
like-
much our cruise cost.
Then I was like, I don't
Get a big
know about going to Atlantis, and I don't even know that we would take advantage of the things at Atlantis.
Well, it's
but
like
maybe.
a water park.
Yeah,
and
but
that's-
maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
Depends on the mood. TS says, I'm having such a good laugh. I have never been on a ship, just an airboat from the coast of Southern
Ooh.
California to Catalina Island, not that far. Also, never been on a plane. Oh my goodness.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right.
Gina says, but TS, South California to Catalina is notorious for getting seasick. Good thing it
Oh, really?
was an airboat. Wow. I don't know if anybody's been to Atlantis. If you've been to Atlantis, Elizabeth, maybe is there more there than just the water park stuff? Because I didn't do a lot of research on it. I mean, I was like 3 days for this one, and I knew it was going to be busy, just us trying to get our bearings and our feet wet, so to say, on a ship.
Yeah, we weren't really looking.
This was a tester cruise. It was the tester cruise, and it was to see if we could handle it, if we got sick, if we felt claustrophobic, if we were going to just hate it.
So I am going ahead and making some refried beans like we talked about. So I just pulled out some beans, and actually I'll let Cheryl taste a bean,
All right,
and then we'll come back here.
ooh, those are yummy.
Yeah,
Very yummy.
a little dry on the inside, even though they're cooked.
Yeah, nice.
I could tell that by the way they're cooking.
So TS says regarding the chat, when we watch the replay, for me the chat never comes back, just new comments. Am I doing something wrong with?
It usually comes
My
up on the
YouTube settings.
right-hand side, but it can take up to 24 hours after the replay, after the original video. It
Yeah.
has to process all the way.
Yeah, and the longer the video, the longer it takes.
And that's totally on YouTube side. So any bean, this could be a can of beans. This is probably about a cup of beans. And so we have a few things in here. We don't have any salt. If you don't do salt, you don't have to. But I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here.
Nice. Elizabeth says we don't have to go to the water park, and it's super cheap to take a cab and just walk around or visit the aquarium.
That I would love.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm going to put
I would like to see what it looks like over there.
I'm going to put a little garlic powder in here. Even though there's some garlic in there to give it a little bit of bite, I'm going to put in some Mexican oregano. I'm just showing you kind of how I'm making. You can do this with a can of beans. You don't have to go through all this. I'm going to put a little more smoked paprika because I'd like it to be a little smokier. I have barely any in here. Do I have any?
Uh-oh. That might be crisis time.
Here we go. I have to refill it. I have a giant bag. And sometimes I'll put a little tomato powder. If you wanted this to taste salsa-ish, you could add some tomato powder in there. We're going to use salsa. I'm going to put just a little bit of jalapeno powder. Not enough to make it really spicy, but just enough to give it that yummy flavor. And this is ancho chili powder. So I'm going to put maybe like half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. And this stuff alone is going to make this better than any super fancy, because some of the organic vegan refried beans now are like $4 a can. We can make like 6 cans of these. And you can also freeze. We could have made the whole pot this. But this way, I can use this different ways. We can have beans and vegetables over rice.
Nice.
Or I can make a soup.
Nice.
So we can take these beans and eat them a few different ways. Maybe that's what I'll show you some this week. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I could add some more liquid from the beans. I just want to mix this up really good.
Claire says, just joining now. Did you get dizzy at all on the cruise when the ship moved? I felt like the room was spinning at times, but my family did not notice or didn't care. You felt weird when it first initially started moving.
It was weird. So kind of like, you remember earlier this year when the cicadas were doing stuff and it like really made me unsettled? I was like, I don't think the ship's moving yet, but I felt a little lightheaded, dizzy. And I just felt not right, so I had a ginger beer because I knew the ginger would settle my stomach. We weren't in the room. I had gin chews and some ginger tea, but I was like, let's take care of this now. And then after that, it made me a little nervous because I thought it was going to be worse.
Yeah, but I think that was when the boat or the ship, was actually like kind of backing out to turn and go, and once we started out onto the open sea, it seemed like you cleared up right away.
It really did.
Now, there were some nights where when we were eating, it was kind of...
It was very, like, I could feel it, like, I mean, I'm sitting up straight, but I feel the boat doing this, or I felt it doing that. Like, I could feel it constantly, but it didn't make me sick. Gina says now about coming off the ship and walking with sea legs and weaving. I did okay. How about coming off the ship? I didn't have a problem with that either.
No.
And Tia says that she does use the beans from Walmart, the canned beans, and that's fine. It's harder. I'm not sure if there are any refried beans that don't have oil in them. Like even Amy's, I believe, has oil. So take a can of black beans, a can of pinto beans, and just do this. Like, do you see? Like, it took what? Less than a minute.
Yeah.
We would taste it.
Lydia has a question about her beans.
But I want you to taste it first.
Oh. That's
like,
nice.
These are, I wish you guys could taste them. They don't look pretty, but
well, they're going to be great in...
Oh yeah, and then a little
tostadas.
salsa on it. I'm gonna put one of the almond tortillas in, and the small almond tortillas at Trader Joe's are oil free. Obviously they're not, well, there's no oil added is a better way to put it, because it's still almonds and it's still oily. But they're compliant.
Lydia has a question.
Yes, Miss Lydia.
So my beans are breaking up, some of them more tender than others, but a little dry. Do you think they're okay? I want to make refried beans with them.
I think they should be fine. So like what you just saw tonight is like some of the, did you notice that some of the ones were drier when I was pushing across? The rest of these are still going to cook down a little more. They should be okay. As long as they don't feel like a peanut. So like a regular dry bean, you might think, well, no, that's going to break your tooth. It's too hard to bite. When it's cooked and it just splits in half with the 2 spoons, I think they can be a little drier on the inside. And you could even choose to cook them a little more when you use them for something else, or throw them in the microwave or something. But they should be okay. Ginger beer is a little stronger. It's like it's a ginger soda, but it has more real ginger in it. I don't know why, but like Jamaican ginger beer is a thing.
It's less sweet than a ginger ale, I think.
Yeah, it just, sometimes ginger ale, like, of course ginger ale should have ginger, but if you're trying to have it for nausea, ginger beer also oftentimes has a better effect for me. Ginger beer is often too spicy for you.
Yeah.
It is a spicier drink too.
Yeah.
You can tell there's more ginger in it. But yeah, Lydia, I think that should work too. So also, if you're making the refried beans, what I would do, I would go in, you're probably going to use an immersion blender, And then maybe just saute them in a little bit of water with your rest of your spices, and that'll cook up the rest of it really fast. So that's how I would do it to make sure. Yeah, not butter. It's not butter beer. Though we did have vegan butter beer at Universal because they have vegan. Before the foam topping has a dairy ingredient, and they wouldn't serve it without the foam topping. And now you can get it without the foam topping or a vegan foam topping, which is kind of cool. All right,
it was
guys.
delicious.
So it's time for. So I'm not going to make the rest of the dinner now. I'm literally going to chop up some lettuce. I put two almond tostada tortillas. They are flat. Cook them on air fry for a couple minutes, and then I spread the beans, put the lettuce, and we'll put some salsa. Sometimes if we have tomatoes or other things, you can of course put that on. But we're having a very basic dinner. But
what's made in the fridge already dinner.
Right, and so. This bean, so one of the reasons I wanted to cook them is I soaked them, so I wanted to cook them and not let them go bad. The other reason is now we have cooked beans to make other meals. So maybe I'll make a bean soup. Maybe we'll have bowls with beans, and I could spice these completely differently because they just have a bare base spice to them.
Yeah.
Yay! Liddy's beans are cooked after 5 hours. Yay! It happens to the best of us. It is not your fault. Is this your dinner? You must be starving. We ate lunch at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're good.
So honestly, that's also why we're having something so small. But like, we ate half of that potato soup at 4 o'clock and the salad, which is what we ate for dinner last night. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to get it to move us back into the habit of eating 3 meals a day again.
Yeah.
Because we got off of that, and it's not helping us with our moods.
No.
At all.
Nope.
Oh, it's wonderful spending time with you guys, and Gina, you're awesome. Oh, good, Penny. I'm glad you had fun. It was great to have you here. Booked again for next year. What is that?
A cruise.
Oh, you're booked for a cruise, Claire? Oh, here we go. Okay, got it. What line are you cruising on? I'm very curious to know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, great. It was good hanging out with you too, Sherry.
Yep.
You guys are just the very best. And yeah, we've been live 2 hours. You don't need to see me like toast some tortillas. I think you got it. But just realize dinner, no matter how tired you are, dinner can be this easy. Dinner doesn't have to be any of this. This could have been, I've done this so many times. Drained a can of beans. I keep it in case I need some of the juice. And I mish them up with some spices and make my own refried beans. Again, not traditional Mexican food at all, but it's delicious, whole food, plant-based, no oil, inexpensive. And even this, Rancho Gordo beans are the most expensive. But if I'm using these $5 or $6 beans to make 4 meals, that's cheaper than tofu.
Yeah.
Right? So just think, there's no right way. Oh, good. Bye, Nancy. We hope to see you soon. We love you too. And good night, Joe. And thank you. It was awesome.
Oh, Claire, it's going on a Disney cruise.
Oh, Claire, what ship are you going on? We kind of want to go on a Disney cruise.
Yeah, we kind of really want to do a Disney cruise.
So who knows? I want to hear about all that. You can also email us if you don't want to talk about it publicly.
Yeah.
Cheryl, or what is
just
support at healthyslowcooking.com.
Yeah, support at healthyslowcooking.com. Anything you can get in touch with us there. If you have anything for just her, I can pass it on. If you have cooking questions or stuff.
Yeah, I don't have any serranos, and she can't handle any spice.
Sorry,
so we don't do the other. I make my own ancho and guajillo powder, and I use those a lot. I also have some other peppers that I use sometimes, but we keep it kind of, the jalapeno is pushing it for her.
Yeah.
But thank you for being so sweet and patient with my very, very not traditional. It's like adjacent to Mexican inspired, I think would be the word, because you can do, we do this a lot in my classes. We'll take dried anchos, take the seeds and ribs out, reconstitute them and make a sauce with them. But for things like this, it's really nice. And also just to be able to use a bit of powder on something can be really helpful to people trying to transition and who aren't quite sure how to make their food taste differently than plain potato and broccoli. There's nothing wrong with plain potato and broccoli as long as you love it. A little nutritional yeast, a little sprinkle of some spices makes me love it a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You guys are just the very best, and I really appreciate all of you so much. I don't know when we're going to go live tomorrow. It could be in the morning or it could be in the evening. Super helpful. I'll be teaching class in the afternoon. Oh, thanks, Elizabeth. Says,
we appreciate that.
For building such a great community so we have a place to chat and have great laughs. Oh, I love Urfa chilies.
Oh, is that what I put on the
that's what we put on avocado
toast.
toast when we have it, or chickpea. I put it in chickpea toast as well.
We have some of those, and I do like those.
And we've done green pea guacamole. That would make a good toast, too, with Urfa chilies. I love because they're
smoky.
They're smoky and dark and rich. It's just really, really nice. Oh, Joe says, no worries. My maternal Gramps was Mexican, and he, using Cheryl's words, was a wimp. Okay. Okay, because I'm always like, I'm really sorry. But, like, when we go to Indian restaurants, we order for her baby mild, and sometimes it still doesn't work out.
Yeah. The Christmas Day, we went with friends to a local place called Lime and Lemon, and I always get baby mild there, but lately baby mild there has been even pushing it a little bit for me. So
I think some things she's ordering can't be made baby mild.
Yeah.
And I'll see all of you guys in class, and those of you who aren't members of Kathy's Cooking Club, I am having a sale, my yearly sale on Kathy's Cooking Club. It's usually $50 a month. It's $27 a month. If you sign up, you get to keep the discount as long as you're a member. Got questions, let me know. There's a link below. Click on it. It takes you to a page that says all the things. And then if you have questions, just email support@Healthy Slow Cooking, and we'll get you all taken care of. We would love to see you in class.
Absolutely.
And it was good seeing you too, Ms. Crab. Okay, you guys have the very best night, and we will talk to you sometime tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.